Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, the housekeeping notes. All the product I used and all the dimensions will be listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products. I'd love to have you as a customer. There's my email address if you have any questions. There is a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and help me grow in YouTube world. I know I have a lot of stamp sets out here, don't I? We're going to be making something. We're going to use a few things out of each of these. Horse and Sleigh, we're using the bunny and joyful. St. Nick, we're using May the Christmas Season Fill Your Home. And out of Grassy Grove, we're not actually using a stamp. We're going to use a die. So let me show you what we are making. Get those out of my way. And today I actually have a couple samples for you. The envelopes are both stamped with the bunny and the joyful. The first card looks like this. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. You can see it's embossed with snowflakes. It's a beautiful scene. And if you open it up like this, set it up right, it is an easel card. So it looks like this and displays. There's a place to write your message here. So that's the first one I made. I'll let that one come. And I was playing around, so I decided to make another one. And this one has a cute little deer. And this does the same thing, same spot here. I thought he was rather cute. So we're going to make this card, but we're not making either of these. I picked a different paper to use and a different color of cardstock. So let me set that out of my way. And we are going to stamp first, and then we're going to cut together. So let me see here. This nice piece here. And didn't I bring an envelope? I know I did. It's right here. So we grab what I need here. I'm going to get our stamping done before we do the die cutting. So an envelope, and the color of ink we're using is Misty Moonlight. It's the only color we're using today. So what I did was I just took the little bunny, or hare, what do you want to call him? I think he's a bunny. And I'm putting him down in the corner, like that. And then I took Joyful and put him right like that. Oh dear. There went a good nail polish. It happens. Oh, don't close that, Lori. I have one more thing to stamp. This is May the Christmas Season Fill Your Home. We're going to piece that on a piece of scrap paper because we're going to die cut this. Make sure you got a nice coverage. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the scrap. Just like that. It's beautiful. I love this one. And that is the stamping for this card. So all those out of my way. We'll come back to this in a few minutes because we're going to die cut him. But first, what we need to do is cut some paper. So this is a full sheet of Misty Moonlight. I thought I'd show you how to cut the pieces for this card. So on the 11-inch side, we are going to cut it at 5 1/2. So we now have two pieces. Then we're going to take this one here, and we are going to cut it, flip it around, and cut it at 4 1/4. Okay, so these two pieces are done. This one we're going to put back in, and we are going to score it at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So those are the two pieces of cardstock. Now we have a little more cutting to do, but we're not going to do that until we die cut what we need here. So this is going to be our card base. So we're going to fold that. So this is the 4 1/4, and then we're going to take the 2 1/8 and fold it back. And this is going to be the base of our card. So our easel. one of these cards, I'm gonna set the other two over here out of my way. This is a 1/4 sheet, and we are going to be die cutting this, and we're die cutting this with this die out of Grassy Grove. And what you want to do is you want to get it centered as close to possible as you can in the middle of that. You need to die cut this before you decide what you're going to, how you're going to cut your paper, because you want to make sure things come through the holes. So we're going to die cut this. So here's plate 1, plate 2 of plate 3. I'm going to get this over here and try to get that as centered as possible. Doesn't have to be exact, but you know, as close as possible. And run it through your muscle and through here. Okay. Oh, we're going to die cut one more thing, and then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. I'm just going to scoot this over. This is a foam mat that goes with our little scrubby brush. And I'm going to lift this off. A lot of pieces came out over here. We're just going to set him in there for just a moment before we tackle him and do our other die cut. Just a second here and get the paper off. It's important to get the paper that is stuck to your plates off before you die cut the next item. Next, this is the second smallest of the Countryside Corners dies, and it fits this beautifully. I'm going to line that up in here, and I'm going to grab a little Post-it or a big Post-it, whatever I can find. Just put that across there so it doesn't move on me. This is the last die cut, but we do need Otto again for one more thing. So we're not going to put him away quite yet. But I wanted to get this die cut out. So we'll put him over there for a minute. I'll set these plates off to the side. Whoop. As I'm throwing things on the floor. And I'm just going to close this up for a second. So what you want to do with this, once you set it on this mat, if you take a little scrubby and just go over this really good. Doesn't always get all of them, but it gets a good portion of them. You lift that up. I still have a little bit here to work on. You can see them still in there, and I'll poke all those out in a bit. I'm not going to worry about it right now. But what that does, I'm just taking the tip here and just seeing. And I'm looking at this to see if I got any more little pieces stuck, and I don't. Now when I get done, I'm going to put this right back in here so I remember to clean it when I'm done. And we're done. Now the other thing we need to do with this is we need to emboss this. And I used, whoop, as I'm throwing more stuff on the floor, this is the Snowflake Sky embossing folder. Now you can decide which way you want your embossing to be on this. This is lighter snowflakes down here and much heavier up here, which is the bottom. And I want this to be at the top of my card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in this direction with the heavier part at the top up here. So it'll be lighter snowflakes at the bottom. But you can do it whatever way you want. And this time we need plate 1, our embossing folder with fold going that direction, and plate 4. And we're going to emboss this. And we're going to get Otto out of the way. Open up the embossing folder. And we have a beautifully embossed piece. So we'll move that out of my way and get these plates out of here. Okay, now it's time to figure out what picture we want in the center of this. And I went through there and I liked this very snowy scene. So what you need to do is you need to sort of figure out where you want to cut your paper. So I would like to see this and these trees here. If I go this direction, well, actually, if I go this direction, I get that piece and I get that one there and these there. This actually might be the better option, is to go this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it up and down a little bit and see where I want to be. That looks pretty good. Still only going to get half of that tree, but that looks pretty good. I want to go higher or lower. I'm going to go right about the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pencil and just make a little pencil mark on one side. Just something to mark it so I can see it. You may not be able to see those pencil marks, but I can. So we need to trim this down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I'm looking at this here, and that's where I made the first pencil mark. So I'm going to cut there. That's my first cut. So I know that it needs to be 4 1/8, so I have to come to the 8th mark here. And we know exactly where to cut that. And it's just a little off of where that one was. That's close enough. And now I know I need this to be, I'm trying to decide if I want to cut a little off one side or the other. So I'm looking at this again. So it's going to go like that. And if I cut off just about 1/8 of an inch off this side, I can get that tree in. So it's a matter of just figuring out I may not cut enough off, but we can go back again. You're going to come in just ever so slightly from there. That looks pretty good. So I just took off a hair. And every picture has been different on these. And then you want to cut it at 5 3/8. Now, these little pieces, you can still do something with them if you want. These pieces here, do not get rid of those. We're going to use them. So let's look at this and see how we did. Oh, we did pretty good. So we got the trees where I wanted them. Okay. So it's up to you, whatever paper you're using. There was one little cute fox, but I decided not to do that one. I really like this one. So now the other quarter sheet we cut. Now we need it. What you're going to do is you're going to mount this on here, right in the middle. There's going to be about an 1/8 inch border all around that. This card is actually really, the most tedious part is probably figuring out what piece you want to use and where to cut. We did that part. Now the next piece we need is this one, and it's going to get mounted on dimensionals over the top. And do I want to use white or black? This is light. I'm going to go ahead and use white. I think I have some sides over here too. And I'm going to need some minis as well. Okay. So I have some side pieces. This is a good time to use them. This is one of some minis that I already gave up. And you could put it clear across the top. You don't have to, but I have a nice piece, so I'm going to. If not, you're going to be sticking them along the bottom line. I'm going to show you that in a second. Oop. So big ones in the corners. And if this one pulls off, always use your sides. Just one more. Don't want to come off. One in the corner here. And we'll go back to full-size dimensionals now. So across the top and the bottom, you can use full size because it's big enough. And I'm going to put enough across here, probably about 5 across here, like that. And then I'm going to come in with some minis. The big ones are, you need to cut them in half or use minis along the side. It's just too wide. You want them in far enough that you're not going to be seeing them from the outside too much. So strips or, you know, cut some big ones. Lots of dimensionals on this. Now I'm just going to strategically place a couple in a couple of the trees. So we don't want it collapsing on us, okay? And then we'll peel them all off. If you have strips, it works nice because one big piece to peel off. Oop. All right, one stuck here. I want them off. They want to stay. Okay, so once you get all those peeled off, oop, I missed another back stuck there. Okay, the easiest way to do this is set this up this way. Set this one right in front. Line up the bottom first. I'm going to pull this over so I can see a little better. Make sure your sides are even. Make sure your bottom's even. And then you come out perfect. Now, on these other two I made, I used black dimensionals behind because it's really dark cardstock. This is not as dark, so I used the white, and the background wasn't as dark. But you could use whatever kind you wanted. Okay, let's get going here. So the next thing we need to do is we need to hook this to our card. So if you take this and look at this and lean this like this, so it's parts there, you want to glue the top onto this right here. Yes, this is the same bottle I keep on waiting to run out. It still hasn't. Now I'm putting a fair amount of glue up here because this is going to have to support this. And once again, I'm going to take this and I'm going to tip it up so it's flush. And then press it down. That way, my card's flush, clear through. Well, it's not going to stay up right now, but you can see all the trees through there now. And all the embossing. I think it's beautiful. Okay, so now we need to do the inside. So these two pieces, we could flip it over and use the wood grain on the inside if we wanted. But we need approximately 2 inches. And that's about what I have, is 2 inches. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use these 2 pieces. Yes, they don't match, and I do need to trim them, but I think they will work just beautiful for what I want, okay? We also need to trim, and I did not do this, is the piece we're going to write on. So these need to be trimmed down to 5 1/4. Now you could flip them over and use the backside, and I did use the backside on one of mine because it was trees at the top and it doesn't look right. This is not trees, and I actually like it, so I'm going to leave it this way. But you can make the decision. You could cut into a full piece of paper if you wanted, but I see no reason not to do it like that. Now, the other piece we need is a piece of white that is, I don't know why I didn't cut this one ahead of time. It's 2 inches. By 5 1/4. I had cut one way, but I didn't cut the other. I don't know why. This is going to get mounted in here like that. to have someplace to write your message. Like I said, there's about a 1/4 inch border there. And then these are going to come in here. You could separate them if you wanted. Actually, I think I might separate this one. It's strictly up to you what you want to do, but I think I'm going to separate it. There's no reason why I can't. I'll show you what this one was. This one had trees at the top, so I flipped it over and used the green side, and it's 2 pieces. This one, when I cut it, I just literally cut off the bottom, so I had a full 2 inches here. So I just used that piece. So use your scraps to make up the difference in the inside. Or you could waste another piece of paper and cut a bottom or something. Or use different designer paper scraps from something else. And I'm going to split this time. Because it's my card, I can do what I want, and so can you. Okay, so the last thing we need is our stopper, which is going to go right about there in the center. It needs to go up on dimensionals. I got dimensional backs all over the place. Now, this is my side that's going to go this is the side that is holding the card up. Use a strip. I'm out of strips now. I've been using them because it needs more strength than the other side. But you need a fair amount because it is holding this up. I'm just off over to the side here, peeling backs. You know, these things will survive the washer and the dryer. And a hot load of towels, no less. So I'm going to center this. Look, using my grid a little bit here. And up about a 1/2 inch, about right about there. So that I use those 2 pieces. It looks just fine. The card comes back like this and stands up like that. And that is our card today. I did not add any bling to this card, no ribbons or anything. I just liked it very simple. And I hope you like this. Give it a try. These pictures, I mean, we have so many beautiful paper packs that have beautiful scenes. I know the autumn ones, we have beautiful scenes with it. The Meandering Meadow, we have beautiful scenes. We've had many others in the past. On the Horizon, I think it was beautiful. But the animals and the trees and stuff just really spoke to me by doing it this way. So, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you on Friday. Friday, I have an unusual thing. I'm going to case myself. And you'll find out more on Friday. So please join me and have a wonderful day. Bye.